everyone. Welcome to another Dare Chat. My name is Daramouthe, or Dare for short, because some people still say Daramouthe, and I have issues with people who don't know how to the English language well. But anyway, I am on with the lovely Scooby Pup or Scooby, which makes me want to say, do you want a Scooby snack? But I don't think that's gonna work. Otherwise, she's gonna look at me like, "Yeah, you might need to calm it down over there." But anyway, welcome on, young lady. How are you today?
I am doing fine. Just let me.
It sounds like either it's been a long day or it's just like, yeah, it's been a whatever day, which I've had
It's
many of
it's
those.
been it's been a long day.
Yeah,
Pardon
I've
if you can't see my camera or anything like that. My laptop's being a little bit moody today.
well, yeah, laptops. I've had some people on who've had laptop issues. The laptops are less powerful because I do this for my desktop, so laptops are less powerful, but it's fine. We can hear you though, which is the best part, right? We get to hear you. Seeing you is like the cherry on top, basically. But
Seeing me is definitely something you get to do during podcast. Is
mhm,
like my camera's on during that.
yeah, no, and that's understandable. But yeah, it's always a great time just being able to because I've had people on who don't even show their face at all. Albeit the technical stuff, right? If it's not technical, sometimes they just choose not to show their face. I've had VTubers on, so there's been that too, and they really don't show their face at all, to be honest. Uh, but no, it's just nice to get to kind of reach across the way to talk to people like yourself, and you do your own stuff. You you call yourself the Scooby Cast, right? Is that what you call it?
Scooby Pup's podcast.
Oh, okay. Hey, Rio. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well too. Um, one, there we
Rio,
go.
he's a loyal watcher. Good to see him here.
Yeah, he's stopped by a few times here too himself. It's pretty awesome. But how long you been doing that sort of thing with the whole content stuff?
I have wanted to do it for quite a while.
Hmm.
Like back when YouTube first came out and streamers were first doing their own thing, but it was only gameplay. I had wanted to do it, but
Hmm.
I just too shy, didn't have the gear or anything like that. I was just like a regular gamer girl. I just kind of wanted to sit, do my own thing, hang out with my
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
Um, and so finally, I was on Neon Leon for the first time last year,
Mm.
and during SNH afterwards, the day afterwards, he said to Hypnotic that I was a natural.
Mm.
So I figured, well, if he thinks that, maybe I should give it a shot.
There you go.
And so I decided to go through names and stuff like that. Uh, Stepenzo, he helped me out with the opening. He created the song, he created the music video.
Nice,
Um, I do the thumbnails for the show.
nice.
And of course, I have a producer in the background to help me out with pulling up pictures and doing sounds and everything like that. So
Hmm.
it's a little bit of a combination thing. And Stupenzo even came up with the not with the title, but he came up with the font and the design that it has in the show.
Nice. It's always nice when you have people willing to help you out, start up your stuff. Albeit, there's some things people help with on certain issues, or whether it's the music, video part, or whatever. I really don't know that much because I'm on. Majority of the time is just me doing it. But it's been fun learning about the process. Because I mean, like you, I do my own thumbnails, but I just make a template and I just kind of use that. I
Yeah,
make it simple.
I like to do I like to mess around with AI art.
Mhm,
So I just take like selfies of myself
mhm,
and put them into the AI art and just make little poses. Recently, the program for the AI um,
mhm.
that I use
Yeah,
has been a little bit wonky, so I've had to use previously used positions that I've done on other thumbnails and just kind of slap them on to the new thumbnails.
Nice.
So it's kind of like, I know people are probably going to realize, hey, this looks familiar, but you know.
Well, I mean that's like they'll alert them off, but they'll be like, "Oh, it's her again." But what do you other than that, what do you use to make your thumbnails? Like what program?
Canva.
Oh, nice. Same. Same.
I go to Canva. I use Canva Pro.
Yeah. Same.
Um, so I use it to do thumbnails. As for the thumb, so everything is all set up and ready for a podcast with Canva, and everything is very easily done. But for my gameplay streams,
Mm.
for SCOOBYPUP'S Barkade,
Right.
that is I stream that through my PS5
Right.
because I am not a PC gamer.
Mm.
Um,
Understandable.
so I do everything through the PS5 straight to YouTube. So I can't have a thumbnail or anything pre-set up. My raids are enabled,
Mm.
but otherwise, I can't really do anything else. So I have to wait until after I've done the gameplay stream, and then I slap the thumbnail on top of it.
Sounds quite constrictive. Go if you have to go through PS5, but then again, I had someone else on yesterday who was mostly a PS5 gamer, so he's not he's not desktop either. But
I have a Steam account that
right, right.
I do have, and I have. I tried to game on my laptop one time. I was doing Persona 5 Strikers,
Mm.
a game that I got from Cult Classic Cage.
Nice.
Um, and like right in the middle of playing it, my laptop screen goes blue.
Ooh.
And I was like, don't you dare fucking crash on me. Pardon my
Mm.
French, but I was
You're
like, don't
right.
you dare give me the blue screen of death. So
Right.
I quickly restart my laptop and everything is fine. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Um, I'm going to wait until I get either a gaming laptop or save up enough. After 2 years, I'll be saving up enough for a PC
Mm.
so that way I can game on both PC
Mm.
and my console. In the meantime, though, I will be using my Steam account at my brother's whenever I watch my nieces.
Right. Well, that's something at least. Because
Yes.
if you don't have a desktop of your own, because I mean you could do a little more, but also if you know what you're doing, you can build a pretty good desktop cheaper than say the ones they have in like Best Buy or whatever. Because usually they have pre-built ones, and those are a lot more expensive.
Yeah, and I have no clue what I'm doing when it comes
Yeah.
to building computers and stuff. My skills with a computer go as far as turning it on and off.
What does this button do? Don't touch it! Don't touch it!
I have had that happen to me many, many times. What's a sticky key? Oh, wait. What's going on? Why can't I finish this? Oh,
Yeah.
hey, what? Wait, why did the arrow, why did the pointer move? It disappeared. Why? Why did it
Yeah.
disappear? What do I have to press to make it come back?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're not, I don't want to say technically literate. If you don't mess with technology a whole lot, you're gonna have those issues as part of that ordeal. But I mean, for me, in building my desktop, it was sort of like it was just a thing to try. It still costs over $1,000, obviously, because there are a few pieces that are considerably higher in
Yes.
price. Um, but I mean, I'm glad for it. Even though I've had issues in the past, I had to buy a new motherboard last year, and then of course I had to get a new CPU because the other one kind of conked out on me. But it's been running well so far, so I think that's been a great ordeal. But I can understand that because when I first started out, I didn't know how to build one or whatever. Then I went to like some uh, I don't know what they call it around, but it's like a work one sort of thing. And they were having this. There was this company that was having this sort of how to build a computer sort of thing, and so I went to it because I really didn't know. And I went to it and whatever, and then I went to the company. It was a like a sort of like similar like a micro center is what they call it, but it wasn't
Hmm.
named that. And so I kind of went there and I was like, how do I do it or whatever? I was kind of asking like person there's like, okay, so what do you want to start with? It's like, well, I don't want to be like everyone else, like with Intel, right? Because everyone wants to do Intel, Intel this, Intel that, blah 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 blah. So I was
Yeah,
like,
Cassie told me that Intel is the worst that you can do. She said if you're going to do one, use a Ryzen or AMD.
yeah. Well, Ryzen is AMD. It's
Yeah.
part of that branch. But yeah, I do the AMD side, and I haven't really looked back into to going beyond that. I have a right now. I have a Ryzen 7 2700X. That's the CPU thing. Um, but I also use tools that are available out there. That if you're someone who is a little knowledgeable, there's a website called what was it called? Is it My PC Part Picker? Oh, give me 1 second. My Nope, I think it's PC Part. There we go. I was a little worried I couldn't remember it. Okay, so there's a website called PCPartPicker.com, and what it is that you can build, you can make a build and all that stuff, and you can add pieces to it, whatnot. And the best part about it is that this system has a compatibility filter, so that if you get, say, a motherboard and you aren't sure what goes with it, this system helps in finding what is compatible with it. Gives you long list of stuff, but you can choose that will be compatible with your the CPU with the board, the power supply with the board, all this other stuff, and it's really great.
So it's like build a computer for dummies.
Yeah, and not only that, but there's build guides too. Look at that. So you have build guides right here that some of them look expensive or whatever, but again, these are what people can go through, and you can find one that works for you, looks good for you, price wise. These are builds that people have made, and then you could go find the parts. Let's do this one. This is entry level AMD build. Okay, let's click on that, and that'll give you like why I've chosen this or whatever. But this is the list of items, and basically you can it'll give you a base price, shipping, and all that stuff. But there are multiple places you could do it. But majority of the time, Amazon's gonna have your best prices. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, this one right here, these parts have potential issues. Okay, so uh, you can always let's see, you can always blip and blop and change up, because again, you can when you want to make your own, you can go to like uh, builder, I believe, and then you get to choose your own CPU and all that stuff. And you can just mess around with it. Like if you want to do an AMD and then all the power stuff, you can do that. But this one doesn't look like it's a good one because the compatibility filter is like, these are not gonna work out. Uh, yeah, warning: the Ace Rock motherboard supports the AMD Ryzen 5 if the motherboard is using an older BIOS. So it's just a BIOS thing. But again, you have stuff like that going through builds, and again, you can start for cheap or you can go to the higher ones. It just depends. But yeah, I enjoy it, and again, it's PC Part Picker if you're ever interested yourself. But I've used it to help make my desktop multiple times, and yeah, it's been an interesting time, but it's sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes not. But yeah, it's up to you on how you want to do it. And like you said, you're not too sure, and so that's always good to help. But again, there are guides on there that you can look at and say, "Oh, this works for my price." Because you can build, as it showed, you can build a good, a moderate PC for less than $1,000. So if you're on a budget, if that's for people as well, if you're on a budget, you have an option.
Yeah, I currently do not have a job. So.
Um, what were you? Have you been out of work for a long time, or it's just one of
I
those
was
things?
doing seasonal for Victoria's Secret
Mm,
for Christmas, and then they let me go on in February. They said they were going to keep me because I was a really good seller,
yeah.
but then they changed their mind and kept like they only had 5 spots available, and they decided to keep 5 cashiers that were full time but had no floor sale experience.
Yep.
So I was like, pick your poison, and you picked the poison. Okay, so
Mm,
and then I went in there today,
mhm.
and they kept on saying my old manager, she kept on saying, "Oh, we're not hiring until May. We're not hiring until May." I walk in there today. There's like 10 girls there that I've never seen that they had hired
Mm-hmm.
since I had been gone. I looked at my old assistant manager. I said, "I thought you guys weren't hiring." And she goes, "Oh, any open spots go immediately to the first full time person who applies." And I said, "Really? I've
Mm-hmm.
applied. I never got a call."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the name of the game, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why, as if you are for someone who's looking for a job, you just keep putting yourself out there because it's waiting for a job to call you back is like waiting for um, oh, what's a good analogy? Waiting for a job to call you back is not something you want to wait on too much because you're an individual, right? You have your needs to get to, bills to pay, and all this stuff. So you've got to do
Yeah,
what's
and
best
I
for you.
have, and my dad has always told me, once you apply to a place, make sure you bug them and call them regularly to remind them, hey, have you gone over my resume yet?
Mhm. Yeah, yep. I've been told that too. But at the end of the day, you just keep trying.
And
Or
if it's one thing that I learned from Victoria's Secret is every time they hire young girls or whatever, they normally don't stay. They normally leave because working at Victoria's Secret, uh, working at Victoria's Secret is demanding.
I.
It's a very demanding job. People might seem, oh, it's easy. No, you go in there. The guests can be
Mhm.
they can be difficult. They can be very
Yep.
difficult, especially when you have somebody coming up to there and say, "Hey, can you measure me?" And yeah, you're taught how to measure,
Mhm.
but you're not always going to get it right. And if you
Yep.
don't get it right, you're going to be the one to be blamed.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so it's a lot of pressure, especially if they say, "Oh, hey, focus on selling this and this," and
Mhm.
you're not used to selling such and such, then you're going to have problems, and the pressure is on, and it's like, oof.
Yeah. Yep. It's I've never worked in retail, thank goodness, but I used to do like delivery. I used to deliver pizza and I did custodial work and yeah, people can be pretty troublesome, but sometimes they as my mom put it, sometimes it's don't let the anger get to you. It's about the problem, not you. So you just kind of let that wave wash over you. But it's not always easy, especially
Yeah,
having a young teen and trying to do a job and they just got yelled at by somebody because it's something of happened.
yeah, I've only ever done retail. I mean, I mean, well, I can't really say I've only ever done retail because the first job I ever I had to have a work permit for, and I
Mhm.
was a game worker at um, a Renaissance festival,
Ooh.
and that was not fun. That was not fun at all.
Mhm.
And the other time I had a job that was not retail related was in college. One of my buddies over there, her mother owned the Renaissance Festival over there,
Mhm.
and they needed a waitress.
Mhm.
So I figured, okay, I'll do it. I'll give it a try. Never again.
Wow.
It seems like the worst jobs that I've had were always at the Renaissance Festival. So I was like, I'm never working at any Renfest ever again.
Mead! More mead, sir. Can you just please come out? I said more mead, wench.
No, that wasn't the problem. The problem was is that they were all those like picnic tables. So
uh,
giving us the food and then taking it to the person who was like, oh crap, we have like several different people sitting at one table and they're not all together. So it's kind of like,
mm,
oh crap, who ordered what?
yeah.
Especially since I have a very bad memory.
Oh no. Yeah, those would be the bad job to be at. Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
looking at like, "Ah, I think it was them. No, it was probably them. Oh no, I
Oh
should have
yeah,
written down
that's
their names.
exactly how I was. I was like, oh God. Probably the most fun job I had ever had was working for a Halloween store.
Oh, nice.
We were allowed to wear any of the Halloween products that we wanted to.
Mm.
as long as we bought them in the end, because they
Yeah.
didn't want any germs or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was always very eclectic in everything I did. Like one time, I would run around with a top hat that you would see witch doctors
Hmm.
wear,
Yeah.
and we had aprons, of course. And one day we were doing unpacking, we were restocking, and we had this little skeleton decoration. And
Hmm.
while we were pulling it out, the lower half of the torso broke off.
Oh.
So I took the skeleton, and they were like, "Oh, just trash it." And I was like, "No, I don't want to." And they were like,
Yeah.
"Why?" I said, "Because I'd feel guilty. His lower half is missing." And they were like, "Well, what do you want to do with it then?" So I stuck it in my apron, so it was just hanging out of the pocket. The arms were hanging out of the pocket and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I came up with a whole backstory for it and everything. So when people ever asked, what's the skeleton there, I'd be like, "Oh, that's so and so. He's just hanging out." He's like, "He's just hanging out, having fun." I figured, I'll just let him
Yeah.
sell stuff with me. So it was working at Halloween stores can always be very, very fun.
Yeah. Oh, what did you give him a name though? At least.
Yes, I called him Bob.
Yes, this is my friend Bob. He is in my pocket. Here you go.
I was like, this is Bob. I was like, yeah, he just likes to come around and help sell. So he just hangs out in my pocket.
He's sorry. Yes, I'm getting my Bob is telling me that the marketing is not going well. He says do not buy that stock. Um,
So yeah, and I would run around. Not only that is also I had one of the canes for that, so I would be running around with the top hat, the little skeleton
mm,
hanging out my apron, and a cane, just walk around, mind my own business.
mm, that makes you
Customers loved it.
yeah, it makes you look fancy if you walk around with a cane or dangerous. It depends. If you don't beat him, then you're good. If you do beat him, then that makes you a little dangerous. But
Yeah.
a top hat and a cane and a skeleton named Bob hanging out of your pouch. That's a winner for the books right there.
Well, he also had his own backstory too. So, and the
Hey,
kids loved it. So
man, not
I
bad.
had no problem with it.
Sounds like you're a very neurodivergent. Thank you for coming by. It sounds like you're a very a creative artesian person, so to speak, or just creative. Sorry.
I've always been, whenever it comes to work, I've always been very outgoing with customers and whatnot because they'd rather work with somebody who has a smile on their face and someone they can relate to
Hmm.
than walk into a store and see someone go up to them and say, "Hi, welcome to such and such. We're having
Yeah.
a sale over here and over there and over this and this and that and this and that." For me, it's kind of like, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Oh, I love your coat." So then I go into like the selling pitches and stuff like
Hmm.
that.
Yep. Yep. That's how you do it. You almost at a certain point, I almost thought you were doing Valley Girl right there. It's like over there are our sales. If
That's how a lot of them act, and if they're not acting like that, then they're very stoic, like they don't want to be there. Meanwhile, for me, it's like service with a smile.
yeah, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that too. Yeah, it does feel like a big chunk of people uh, don't don't want to work. Not all, but it does feel like a big chunk of people don't want to work in the sense of. And then there's understandable parts to it. Again, it's the human interaction part. Sometimes you're dealing with an angry person and all that stuff, or just rude. And it's one of those things where it's almost a learned skill, but at the end of the day, it can be very oh, what's the word? It can be very disheartening because a lot of people just seem like they don't want to work because the pay's not well, or just a whole variety of reasons someone would give in order not to work. And of course, I know some people would blame like the COVID stuff or whatnot. That was for a time, but then there's a point of why aren't people going back to work? Well, why don't you think? There's
Well, over here in my state,
mm,
slowly but steadily, minimum wage has been rising.
mm,
Originally, it was minimum wage was $7.
yep, yep.
Now, minimum wage is 16.95 an hour.
Wow, it's pretty interesting. I
But
know.
thing is for the minimum wage is it differs depending on the county that you're in.
Ah, I see.
And
That's
I live in one of the most expensive counties, and therefore the pay wage is actually really good.
oh, that's good. That's good. It's just difficult in the job stuff. It sounds
Hmm.
like,
Yes.
which I understand. I was what was it? I was working. I've been around all the place, but at one point, because I was transitioning from a different job, at one point I was doing 4 jobs total, and it was only for like a week or two because again it was the transition from one job to the next. But it was just one of those things where it's like yeah, it's not something fun to do, but there are people out there who do sort of do that, and but yeah, I get to do some interesting things. I get to work for uh, a setup crew for special events of stuff. I won't say where, but got to do that. Got to try some nice foods once in a while, which was always nice. But if you eat too much of it, it's not going to go well. And so there's that too. But yeah, I've worked in many different jobs, and the funniest thing, right? The funniest thing I find out of all these jobs doesn't matter what they say, what they do. It's always communication. That's the funniest thing they can't get right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the hello salute, thank you, sir. But the thing of it is that yeah, the by communication itself for almost any job seems to be a backseater because the one job I used to work at, they'd put it in like their acronym, like uh, something like communication, accountability, and responsibility, or CAR. And I was like, you guys do know that, I didn't say this out loud, it's more of a thought. I was like, you guys do know that you aren't very good at your communication with your other people. Oh, look at that. There you go. Amon.
Yeah, I've seen Iman before. I see Iman in Hypnotics chat every once in a while.
Nice. But yeah, it just seems like communication, and it's not just jobs though. It's within people as well, where um, communication seems a little flat. I mean, a big chunk would be like in relationships where you know you have these people who are in a relationship, and somehow towards the point it just stops. But I think part of it is because of it's not after a while maybe someone has different uh, what's the word? It just different direction in life, or they aren't very communicating well. And it's I don't I understand if not everyone can communicate well. It's just, are you willing to at least learn to try? Because it's a weird thing that it keeps happening. That it seems like communications fall out, and everything else just seems going array disarray. Sorry, disarray.
Hmm.
It's a weird thing to me, at least. But yeah, whenever I've gone to a new job, it's like I bet you anything communication is going to be a problem, and sure enough, oh man,
Yeah, like I was the person at Victoria's Secret. I was the person where if you were to walk in and you have no intention of buying anything, I was the person where if you come across me, you're gonna come out with stuff. You're gonna come out with something.
yeah, that's pretty great. It shows you have a very suave skill of selling. See how I did
Yes.
that? Um, but yeah, I don't think the weirdest thing too was when I was trying to look for a job. Majority of the time, it would be salesman for an insurance company. I'm just like, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Because you earn your commission through the selling of insurance, and I'm just like, I don't think I'd be selling enough to actually make it. So
Yeah.
I didn't do those jobs. But yeah, it's just uh yeah, I dislike. I have a full time job now, and I'm grateful for that. But I dislike having to. Okay, I got to clean up my resume. Oh, I got to send it out there. It's so tedious in its essence. Like, okay, you have to have 5 people. Look, did my job say it did well? Okay, how do I do? Like, give me the ability to show a merit rather than just go through all these people say whatever, right? Because
I actually have two different types of resumes. I have one that's a gaming
Mm,
resume and one that's a regular work resume. And I'll explain what the gaming resume is.
mm.
Um, the gaming resume is essentially for people who are looking for game testers.
Yeah.
So one time, Bungie was asking for people to apply as a game tester because they wanted to do a few DLCs and they wanted some people to test out the gameplay and whatnot. And they said you have to have one of each type of character, which I did, and they
Mm,
had to be fully leveled and everything. So I was like, oh, easy, I got
mm.
this. I sent them my resume. 2 weeks later, I get a call back saying thanks, but no thanks.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. And I think at the time they were about ready to release Lightfall,
Life.
or as I like to call it, Light Fail, because that was the shittiest DLC I've ever played in my entire life from them. So
That's
yeah, I kind of wish they did have me as a game tester for that one because I wouldn't have wasted my money on getting the DLC.
yeah. No, that sucks though. I mean, one of the gaming things out there for me is that you have places like Steam or Epic Game Store or GOG or whatever, and many more. Obviously, more beyond that, but Steam's a real well known one. The thing with Steam is that you have a lot of creators, and some of them are indies, so that's understandable. But you have a lot of creators out there that have early access games,
Hmm.
right? And so you pay a discounted price, sure, but you get all the bugs and stuff with it. So you essentially pay to be a tester of the game. Um, and back in the day, and it's not too far off, but when Steam wasn't so well known, games still had to at least get golden before they could be sent out. Now again, you have this day and age where there's more indie gamer makers out there, and or small studio stuff out there, whichever, and they can now make games, they can now do this stuff, they can have crowdfunding, all this, where beforehand you couldn't really do that. Um, but it has also led to this ability to where we have games that aren't really finished, and they take
Yes.
years and years and years to get there, and it's just like, but it didn't used to be that way. So it kind of feels like the age of half-baked games.
Yeah, it's rare when nowadays it's rare when you get a game company that's more concerned about the quality of the product
Mhm,
than the quantity and sales numbers. A good example would be Yang Bing, who
mhm,
is the single-handed creator of Lost Soul Aside.
mhm,
That is a game that was originally started as so this guy, he wanted to show off what the Unreal Engine 5 looked like.
oh yeah.
So he took Final Fantasy and Devil May Cry 5. I
Mhm,
mean, not Devil May Cry 5, but the Devil May Cry series overall,
mhm.
and combined them and made like a little mini quote unquote demo. Um, and then he posted it on YouTube.
Right.
It got tons of views, tons, and people loved it. It was fast paced, character design was awesome, the graphics were amazing,
Mhm.
and it garnered so much attention that Sony got a hold of him and said,
Ooh.
"Hey, we'll give you the money. You make it exclusive to us." And they said,
Ah,
we'll even give you enough money to start your own studio."
nice.
He started his own studio. He completed the game on his own. But the thing is, though, is that it took so long that people thought it was going to be canceled.
Mm.
And as the years went by, and people started to think it was canceled, he actually got onto Twitter and Facebook and said, "Hey, this game is not canceled.
Mhm.
I am taking my time with this game because I want to deliver a complete game to you. I don't want you to make it feel like it's rushed. I want to make a complete, perfect game and then deliver it to you
Mm-hmm.
as a game should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I like this guy. I like his style. And he's already making another game. I think he's actually making already one or two games, but with an actual full on staff for
Mm-hmm.
those. And I already have Lost Soul Aside on my wish list. So I was like, I've been wanting to get this game ever since they announced that it was going to be a game. Um, and then they made an announcement that it was going to be a timed exclusive.
Yeah.
So it was going to be originally an exclusive on the PS4 and PS5, and then it was an exclusive on the PS5, and then it went to timed exclusive.
Yeah, that's been an issue for some people about. I think I have it right. Yeah, there we
Yep,
go.
that's it.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, real Unreal Engine. Yeah, that's something I want.
The gameplay for it looks awesome, and I can't wait to play it. I told Cassie she has it on her wish list. She's on the fence about actually buying it though, but it's on her wish list, and I told her, I'll tell you what. Uh, I've been wanting. I'm going to get this game day one. That much is for
Mhm.
sure. And she goes, yeah. And I said, day one, I'm going to start streaming it. I'm going to live stream it, so that way
Wow.
you can make your own decision.
Hmm.
So May 30th, I'll start streaming Lost Soul Aside.
May. Yeah, it looks pretty. I mean, it looks pretty clean. Yeah, May 30th, 2025 is when it's released. So yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
And it does look like the Final Fantasy and all that stuff
yeah.
combined.
It's very Final Fantasy influenced,
Mm-hmm.
and the gameplay itself
Mm-hmm.
was based off of Devil May Cry.
Ah, okay. Because this, you know what this reminds me of? The look of it reminds me of the Final Fantasy 16 thing.
Hmm.
Because that's where I'm seeing this look. But to have sort of this stuff right there, that's pretty
And that
awesome.
that dragon can shapeshift into a
Oh,
sword, wings, whatever it is he needs.
wow, that's pretty awesome. So, but yeah, no, that's pretty cool that Sony reached out to him. But yeah, the whole exclusive thing, that's like, oh, 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 oh no, I pressed the wrong button. Never mind. Hold on. I was in the wrong place. But yeah, the whole exclusive thing is, um, I don't know. I mean, it was like for what was it? For God of War, right? Like God of War was exclusive. No, it wasn't God of War. What was it? The one Oh, that's right. The new Final Fantasy VII one, the Rebirth one. It was uh, exclusive to PS5, I think it was, for a year's time, but it didn't really do well. It didn't really sell well, and obviously now it's out there on PC. But it,
Well, the thing is though is I think what Sony might do is I think Sony has uh, probably made a deal with certain companies
mhm,
where uh, after a certain amount of time the game will move to PC, because if it's one thing that I've noticed is all the exclusives that Sony has had
mhm,
after a certain while end up on Steam, but they don't end up on the Xbox or anyone else, but they will end up on PC.
mhm,
And I have a feeling that there's probably some sort of, in my opinion, this is a theory of mine, but I have a feeling like Sony has a deal going on with Steam or whatnot,
mhm.
where games will be released there first and then sent out onto Steam. You know,
Yeah.
like I think what PlayStation is they're trying to get the money first on the sale, and then stretch it out more for the game creator themselves.
I mean, the thing of it is that I don't know if consoles are still the big. Let's see. Which.
Consoles are essentially good if you are looking for if you want to get into gaming and you want to get into gaming right now, uh, but you don't have the money for a PC. That's where consoles come in.
Right.
Consoles are good for if you do not have the ability to game on PC no matter how much you want to, then the console is the best way to go after that. Because I started off for a while, I could not game on PC, health reasons.
Yeah.
So I went to console. Besides, I had grown up on consoles. I had grown up on the Nintendo, the
Mm-hmm.
Genesis, the Dreamcast, the PlayStations.
Mm-hmm.
I am a proud Sony sheep. I am not afraid to admit it. But I am not the type of Sony sheep out who will go out and say, hey, Sony can do no wrong. No,
Right.
I'm a Sony sheep because I have used PlayStation consoles for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's not to say I haven't played on Xboxes and other stuff. I've played on every type of console there is.
Mm-hmm.
I've played on the Ataris, the Colecos, even those. I've played on every type of console there is.
Right.
Some of them I like, some of them I don't. The
Mm-hmm.
Xboxes and the Series X and stuff, I don't like them. I just don't like the way they play.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii, I didn't like the way it played. But the one thing I liked about the Wii is I loved all the YouTube videos that came out about people who didn't use the controller right and ended up losing their TVs.
Yeah. Yep.
Those were great. It's like that little rope that's hanging on the end of the controller that's there for a reason. It's called tying it to your wrist.
Yeah.
And,
Yep. Looping it.
and it didn't even just go to the Wii. I mean, even the PlayStation had that problem when it had that little wrist controller that they had. Nobody used the little tie into their wrist, and they would, their TV would be damaged. So anybody who had that type of controller was a moron.
Yeah. Well, and that was a long time ago, though. That was like early before. Ooh, man, it must have been like early 2010s or something like that. Um.
Those types of controllers were around 2000, between 2013 or
Mm,
so, and yeah, about 2013 and so.
just. Um. Yeah, that was that, and then of course they had the Wii U that came out, which was also its own thing,
Hmm.
and then what was it? And then of course after that became the Switch. So, but anyway,
The Switch, the only thing I don't like about the Switch is the controller itself. I like the system. I just don't like the controller. It's a bit too small for my hands, and
mm,
also it's a bit weird.
yeah, that's understandable. I mean, it's just again they still do it with the grips sort of because yeah, I would say it's like pre-Switch basically for the Wii. But anyway, I wanted to show the what I found for the share for console versus PC share. Um, but yeah, it says as of 2023, console gaming has a larger market share than PC gaming. Understandable.
Yeah.
Generating 53.1 billion in revenue compared to PC gaming's 39 or just 40 billion, according to Newzoo's 2024 PC and console gaming report. However, PC gaming has been experiencing more significant year-over-year revenue growth, with a 4.4% increase in 2023, while console gaming saw only 0.3% increase. In terms of player base, PC has a larger user base with almost 900 million players worldwide, compared to console gaming's 629 million players. Despite this, console gaming has been doing better in recent years with an impressive growth rate of 7.4% from 2022 to 2023. It's important to note that the gaming industry is constantly evolving. Trends such as VR, AR, and IoT and generative artificial intelligence are expected to transform the landscape in the coming years, potentially affecting the market shares of both platforms. As of the latest data from 2025, PC games are earning more revenue than console games, with PC gaming revenue growing by 20% since 2021. So basically, it's there's a mixture there, but so
Hmm.
far, the
Hmm.
revenue from PC games are earning more than console games. So there is sort of a leeway there, but it's still not there yet for
Yeah,
PC.
like I said, consoles are really more for the people who want something more affordable,
Yeah,
and aren't really hardcore gamers. PC, it will give you the experience of more games,
Mm.
with the exception of console exclusives.
Yes,
But
like Nintendo.
a
Yep.
vast majority of those games, you'll be able to get not only PC exclusive games, but you'll be able to get the console games.
Mm.
So it's more games for you
Mm.
overall.
Right.
But like I said, for people who are just looking for something that isn't too expensive, naturally consoles nowadays they are expensive as hell. So,
Yep.
but people who aren't looking to spend a good couple of $1,000s on a PC, the console is probably best for them. Even if
Yeah.
you're a hardcore gamer,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter. I mean, some people say consoles are for casuals, where you can be a hardcore gamer and still use a console, but that's mainly because you don't have the money, or maybe there's something about the platform that you like.
Mm. Yeah.
In my case, I don't have the money for a PC. I don't even really have the room.
Right.
But I'm also very familiar with the console gaming overall because it's what I grew up on.
Right.
And it's not that I'm not willing to switch around, because I am, especially now that I have various types of controllers that I can use when I game, when I try to, like I do have my controller hooked up to my TV because I have
Mm.
a smart TV. I have a Samsung.
Nice.
And I have done free to play games on that. So I have that hooked up to my
Mm.
TV. But yeah, my laptop, that's a different story.
Gives yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Epic Games gives out free games every few days. Yeah, there's and the funny thing about that is once you get the game for free, you can keep it. Like you can re-download it and stuff, and it won't charge you anything. But yeah,
Yeah.
they Epic Games does that. It's there's free to play games on Steam as well. It's just very nice. But I know I get that, especially for people who can't. But again, um, it's a it's
Granted,
it's a
free to play games though
mm,
is you have you have your live service games,
mm,
and then you just have your regular free to play games that aren't live service.
yeah.
Destiny is one of those. Destiny is people say it's free to play.
Mm,
I call Destiny pay to win, because you can go into Destiny,
mm.
uh, play and everything and have fun, but you are extremely limited. But so if you can play the base and then from there, well, what are you going to do? Well, guess what? You got to pay for the DLCs, and then you got to pay for more DLCs and more DLCs.
Mhm.
When it comes to free live service, my personal opinion, and I'm an avid player of this game. You can
Mhm.
ask any one of my friends.
Right.
A lot of people, I mean, not a lot of people. One game that does it right is Warframe.
Or from I have heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You're not paying for any of the extensions, any of the side stories, or whatever. You get a shit ton of lore
Mhm.
in that game. The gameplay is expansive. The characters that you can use, you have 60 different characters you can use,
Interesting.
and 60 different prime versions of those characters where the stats are just a little bit higher.
Mhm.
And those you don't have to buy, you can earn them. So the only thing you pay for in that game
Mhm.
are cosmetics and anything you are too impatient to get.
Yeah. I need it now.
Exactly.
Um.
That's exactly all that they offer. Because like even if you want to use like silver or platinum or whatever, which would cause real life money to
Yeah.
buy, they have made a system so that if you have a prime character or parts for the prime to put it together,
Right.
if you don't want to do that, you can sell that thing to another person in game. They will buy it from you. So you can, they've made it so that way players can buy from other players or trade from other players and stuff. So they have a very good system going on for them, which is
Nice.
why I said they do live service Right.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other live service games out there, but they have good games, all types, especially during Christmas time. FWIW, it takes nothing to just claim the real. Yeah, no, I know that for the free games. Yeah, I know that. Um, but no, that's pretty awesome. Again, I've only heard Warframe. I've not played it. Sort of like you hear about League of Legends or stuff. I've never played those games, but it's
Yeah,
nice that you
it's
can.
fun.
It's nice that you can sort of do that because I do know that there are games out there where you have a time waiting thing, or you either pay for like transaction stuff,
Hmm.
which are always the fun part. I think like I think that's possibly like the Mihoyo stuff, like Genshin Impact or stuff like that. We have to pay. You don't
Yeah,
have to pay, but if you want a better stuff, you have to pay for that sort of thing. So it's always the fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, I guess I can be guilty of that in the sense of paying for something because they did that with Fortnite and all that comes with it, but only to a
and a
certain
way
extent.
I think all gamers can be guilty of that at some
Mm,
point in time.
Well, yeah, especially with like what was it, Overwatch, where they had the loot boxes and stuff.
Oof. Overwatch, any of the EA games, um, any of the games for like EA soccer or basketball and stuff, any of those.
Mhm. Have you ever tried? Uh, well, probably can't, but have you ever tried playing that Rocket League one?
No, I had no interest in it.
Not a fan of rocket cars and hitting the soccer ball in the goal.
No, but being a space ninja is fun because
Mm,
in Warframe, uh, you know how in most video games they'll stick you in a spaceship and they'll say, "Yay, here you can have fun," and you'll either go from one place to another in your spaceship after having a quote unquote fight. Whereas in Warframe, they'll stick you in a spaceship. You can fly your spaceship around on your own. You can get your own crew, have
mm,
them take care of anybody who invades your ship while at the same time fixing any other problems that might happen while you're flying. And they'll give you a jetpack to use so you can exit your ship while you're in space and just fly around in space to invade a base and
mm.
do something else to it. So even the company says be a space ninja. So technically, that's what you are. You're a space ninja, and you have so much fun during that game.
As long as you don't get a lightsaber, I don't know if that'll be work with the copyright, but but yeah, no, that sounds pretty awesome in the sense of um, just just enjoy, playing a game you want to, because there's a lot of people
Hmm.
out there who, and this has been a weird thing for me to see because I don't game much. I mean, I game, but I do it off screen, just because I
Yeah.
have a full time job and all this stuff. But it's been an interesting this thing to see of all the talk about game woke or not woke, or all these different studios or whatnot, and just kind of see the whole field be kind of turned on an upheaval because of ideals or what's in the word, ideals or um
Politics,
well,
religion.
yeah, ideals, politics, thought, whatever you want to call it. It's just whole combination of just uh while it should be the case should be made is like if a company comes out and they say this thing and you don't agree with it, that's okay not to give them any money, right? Like, don't let anyone make you feel guilty about that regard, including Sony, right? Or Sony, Microsoft,
Yeah.
Nintendo, whatever. You are not having to give them money for whatever. I know you want the Switch or whatever have you, but if Nintendo came out and said we don't want you, then not exactly like that, but then you'd be like, well, okay, do I give them money or I don't? And I think that's a lot of issues with a lot of different people is that factor of as a game woke or not, as a movie woke or not, all that silly stuff. Because at the end of the day,
Hmm.
I get it, I do, I've seen it, and at a point, I'm just like, you know what, it's your money, do with it what you will, right? Like your wallet, you should speak for your wallet, not a company.
Yeah.
But for me, in the matter of just kind of being an observer of this, h- h- how much does it matter beyond the scope of just warning people about something, right? Like it feels like it's just trying to warn them about this company, but then again, people have to make their own minds up on if they need if they need to still decide of uh, following or not following, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah,
Like you can, because again, the whole of content creation is either you're creating because you want to and everything else is a bonus, like you don't expect it, or you create it and then you start getting the numbers and you're like, okay, I got to get more numbers, more numbers, numbers. And that aspect kind of leads in its own way. I mean, it's a whole mixture of different types of people, but I just can't. I'm not in this, whatever they want to call it, the culture war sphere, whatever, because at the end of the day, I don't. You can play a Nintendo 64 till the day you die, but then that's it.
yeah. The only problem with nowadays is you can be a content creator
Mm,
and you want to keep the culture war out of it and stuff. But the problem is now is that the culture war has seeped into everything that eventually you're going to come into that topic. It's eventually going to hit that topic or some part of it.
mm,
So, like, you're trying to avoid, for example, any type of bad aspect or any type of politics wise in Assassin's Creed Shadows.
mm.
But at some point in time, while talking about the game, you're going to hit a pot. I mean, you're going to hit a spot
Yeah.
where it's going to turn into where it's going to bring in or mention the culture war that's going on, which
Mm,
is what's really sad. Is
right.
you can no longer have a fun stream or whatnot and worry about you can no longer have a fun you can no longer have a fun actual stream
Mm,
without worrying about the negative aspects of pop culture.
mm,
Now, the only way to do that is if you're doing a gameplay
mm,
stream. So it's kind of like, well, this makes no sense.
mm.
And when I do my streams,
Right.
I try so hard to keep it out of that. But the only problem is 99% of the topics out there revolve around the culture war or so seeped into your topic that
Mm,
you can't help but pop up.
right.
Like my very first episode, I was lucky enough to not have anything from the culture war pop into. My
Mm,
very first show was about Godzilla minus one.
nice.
And luckily, that was a topic that had nothing to do with the culture war. And I
Mm,
think that was primarily due to the fact that movie was made in Japan,
mm,
had the only thing it really had anything to do with as far as America goes was two two things. One, it was released in America,
mm.
and two, they have a deal with Warner Brothers.
Yeah, MonsterVerse. Yeah.
Yeah, the MonsterVerse. So really, the only two things that can be mentioned America wise and whatnot are those two reasons.
Mm,
Otherwise, culture war has nothing to do with it.
mm,
When I started my stream, I wanted to focus on strictly having fun.
mm.
But when it came to the topics out there, I realized there's no such thing as strictly having fun.
Mm. So if you're saying to the one extreme of strictly having only fun, then I can understand that, right? That makes
Yes.
sense. But it doesn't have to remain in the negative aspect of what is considered whatever the culture war thing is, because I don't. My personal stance is a culture war is going to rage on, has raged on long before you were born, and it will rage long after you're gone.
Oh yeah.
The items that it's about will change to some degree, but
Hmm.
I'm sorry to tell you, you're not going to win it. You're not going to be part of the
Yeah.
winning
And
team.
the thing is though is probably it's culture war is probably it's gotten as bad as it could get.
Hmm? We
I mean, probably long time ago, like back in '80s and before, it was probably much worse. then we've had like a period in the culture war where it wasn't that bad, and now
Mm,
here we are, and it's starting to reach a peak again.
mhm.
And
People.
even though we have a new president, it's going to take a long time for the DEI to
Mhm.
fade.
If you don't address the politics or current thing and whatever, well then good luck. I wish you the best. That's not why I'm here to make. I can talk about it, but at the end of the day, I find having these free flowing conversations does more wonder than I do. I basically do with the I don't see anywhere. No, Lord of the Rings. That's the imagination you have. Um, no, but going back to this. First off, this my point is I don't care. One, I care about the people, obviously, because that's why I have, of
Hmm.
course, people like yourself, and of course, Lord the Ree's been on, Tommy's been on, Mister Sass has been on. All these people have been on at one point or another. It's been nice to have them on, but the culture war, I don't care because
Yeah.
the culture war is nothing but a human struggle that will struggle long after any of us have anything of a certainty of a win because there's no win. It's humanity struggling against itself on a very basis level.
Hmm.
It's just the technology and stuff changes, so I don't care. Um, but I mean, it's not. I'm not against talking about it. It's just it's a very mind draining sort of deal. Talk about what you want to talk about. Yeah, of course. There's so much. Yeah, well, yeah. Even then, I mean, that's what when you go to YouTube, right? Just use an example, or Twitch, not Twitch, but YouTube. You'll see that more than not, algorithms or whatever will draw you to those certain kind of things because that's what the high is, and YouTube wanting to make money and stuff. That's what they'll go for. Um,
which
but
is which is why I have the two other parts to my channel. I have the Scooby Pups Barkade,
mm,
which is all my gameplay streams,
yeah.
and
Yep.
then I have my pre-recorded videos, which I'm still working on,
Mhm,
which I call Scooby Pups Rufffviews. In case you
mhm,
haven't noticed, all of the words are play on dogs. For
yeah,
that one, it's just going to be me reviewing various games and movies that I've watched or played,
mhm,
comics that I've read, and whatnot. So that's strictly a pre recorded review video.
mhm,
So I'm trying to extend my channel to as many things as I can.
yeah,
So not just keeping it as a live one, but also to bring out some recorded videos as well.
yeah, I've always said, do what you can mentally handle because you only got so much you only have so much willpower, bandwidth, whatever.
Yeah.
I taught my raw dog how to roll joints, and I call them Scooby Dooby. Yeah, come on, native, come on. Hey, psychotic mongoose, hey.
Hey,
Um,
Mangus, good to see you.
But, for Lucas no, I didn't think I wasn't I apologize, I wasn't trying to say you were calling me a shell. But no, I get that. Point is that you can't really get away from being banned something that says, "So what?" Yeah, it's like you said, just enjoy. If Hassan Piker can get followers, any way you can get them put work. Hijack, yeah, that's true as well. You just have to put in the work. Just enjoy what. Yeah, again, there's this whole weird thing with the culture wars. So even saying the culture war is kind of silly because what culture war, right? I mean, yeah, there's a culture war, but what culture war are you really fighting? What are you protecting? What are you? I mean, the technology is so available. Like you were talking about earlier, a friend who made the game lost the lost soul again with Unreal Engine 5. You could do that. You have the tools to make your own game. You don't have to rely on AAA companies to make a game for you. There are people out there have I've seen people use Grok 3 to make a 2D game. You
Yeah,
have
one person who frequents Hypnocast,
mm,
chat wise, Saint Hugo.
mm,
He made a video game
mm,
based on Hypnotic. Um,
nice.
And Sonia is one of the playable characters.
Not a surprise. Not a surprise. She's a good one.
Sonia has her character can use a gun,
Mm,
while Hypno has his character can do a myriad of things.
mm. That's pretty awesome. Uh, but you have people like that who that's considered indie right there,
Yeah,
unless they do GoFundMe, which there are some people who do. But anyway, it is a little past the hour, and so what that means, or the top of the hour, what that means is that so what I do is I set aside some time. For us to promote ourselves, because obviously sometimes there's sometimes a person who comes on who doesn't have that, but
yeah,
they'll say a funny thing or whatever. But anyway, I set aside time for us to promote ourselves and all that stuff, because usually you see that from other content creators where it's like the beginning or the middle, or it's like sporadically done throughout the show. I
yeah.
do it at the top of the hour because it's sort of like a timekeeper, because one, again, I do have a full-time job, and so once this stream gets over, I do set up for my next one tomorrow, because I set up the day before instead of like
Yeah,
on
that's
the
what I
day
try
of.
to do.
Yeah, it once you get your system down pat, it can be pretty efficient. Like if you want to stay later, I have a little extra bit I do on like the premium side, but that's up to you. But yeah, so I do that. But of course, let me check. I did put all your links I could find down below. So, but if you'd like to sell yourself, as the kids say, but not like that, for
Phrasing.
yep, phrasing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, so this Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, is Scooby Pup's podcast, and this weekend we will be having as as my special guest Sammy Threepeat.
Nice.
And we will be talking comic book movies and comic book shows, as well as discussing the new Superman movie that will be coming out, and tossing our thoughts in as towards what it could be about, since not much is known about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mondays through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern,
Mm-hmm.
I will be doing Scooby Pup's Barkade. Currently, I am going to be streaming the second half of Scarlet Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
I've already done the first half, which can be found on the Scooby Pup's Barkade playlist on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I am doing the second half to find out the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as soon as I finish that one, I will probably switch to a different game, because I usually put up a poll and ask people, what do you want me to do next for Barkade? Chances are I will probably finish streaming High on Life.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Mm. Yeah, because I already have a few videos up on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I will probably finish streaming High on Life.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I will start up my stream on Lost Soul Aside.
Nice.
And I am working on Scooby Pup's Reviews, so keep an eye out for that. I will leave announcements regularly on Twitter and
Mm-hmm.
YouTube.
Yeah. And that's pretty yeah, usually that's where I do most of my amounts. I know I use the posting on YouTube, but I do most of my announcements through Twitter X, so
Yeah,
there's
the
that.
moment I figure out who my guest is going to be, I start work like the week before on the thumbnails and stuff like that. So sometimes, like midway through the week, or like on a Wednesday or a Thursday, you'll see the thumbnail pop up about who I have, and then it'll be tagged to several
Mm-hmm.
people, because I'm not very well connected in Twitter. So I usually tag as many people as I can remember, so that way they can forward it
Mm-hmm.
to everyone they know. But yeah, that's pretty much how my schedule goes.
That's not bad. Yeah, I've had Sammy 3P on before. He's pretty cool dude. So
Yeah,
uh,
he was my guest for the very first episode of podcast. He and I
nice.
did Godzilla together.
Nice. Yep. Godzilla's a good one to do, especially if you do campy Godzilla. That's always a good one.
We covered Godzilla minus one,
Mm-hmm.
but we did make mentions of some of the original
Hmm.
characters, and I told him next to my cover Godzilla, I was going to have him come on because I consider him my resident Godzilla fan.
Nice. Yeah, it's great when you can have those people to kind of share within the sort of those things like Godzilla, Star Wars, Star Trek, that sort of thing.
Yeah, when I had Nerd Wars on uh, 2 weeks ago for my
Mm,
birthday special, I was after I had quite a few people on that day. I had Kata and I had Nerd Wars, Cult Classic Cage,
mm,
Words of Paradise, and Stark of Iron and stuff. And I had a good panel going on. And later, once a vast majority had left, and it was just me, Nerd Wars, and Cassie,
mm,
Nerd Wars really opened up, and he was a blast to have on.
mm.
So he's just so nice, and he was absolutely so fun to have.
God dang it, see. It's Godzilla's plus one named Lizzo.
Don't insult Godzilla like that.
No, he already has Mothra. But that
The
was a good
only
one.
female kaiju in existence.
Hey, EG, how are you doing? How are you doing,
Hey,
EG?
eclectic.
I can't. I have to say EG because I can't say her name very well. I could say goat, but after that,
I gotta get her on podcast. I really do.
yeah, she's a good one. But anyway, for my end, and again, her links are down below, so you can check down the description on either end, either Rumble or YouTube, and you'll see them. But for my end of things, and whether you're on either or, if you wouldn't mind, if you're on Rumble or YouTube, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated because at the end of the day, not only do want to be seen more like all content creators do, but also helps in having other people on as guests, like the lovely Scooby Pup or EG or Tomby or Christian Sass and so many others. Because again, I do this thing of just talking to people across the table, creator or not, creator or not. I'm not just a creator only sort of ordeal. I have talked to people who don't create anything at all, and some of them don't show their face. And that's the best thing about this is having the opportunity to talk to people who um, different perspectives, different ideas, ideals, the whole shebang. So any help on either Rumble or YouTube for the engagement factor, much appreciated. And of course, I have a link down below. You can check it out. They've got Twitter X, got the email and some other stuff there. So if you want to see where else I'm at, there's a link down below. But if you, yes, that's right, if you would like to take up the opportunity to come on, and I say this every time, and I'll keep saying it every time, if you'd like to come on yourself, guess what? There's a comment section down below or a link down below where you can find me at, leave a message at, whatever, and say, hey, I'd like to give it a try. And I'll say, sure, let's go for it. I've only had one person go through my links to come find me and say, I'd like to come on. And it was a Canadian. Ah, Americans, you got to step up your game. All right. I'm an American. All right.
Hey,
That's,
not all Canadians are bad. You got Gooch. Gooch is a good Canadian.
I've never had a mod.
No, but
So
I'm using him as an example as a good Canadian.
yeah. Well, I know they're not all bad, but I'm just saying it took a Canadian to find me, and I've not had any other people try to find me through the link. So that was that. But again, any help with the engagement factor in either Rumble, YouTube, and of course links down below and all this stuff. I thank you all so much for being here, whether you're on either side. And thank you for that, Neuro. Uh, Let me come out to my album. It was fun last time. Yeah, sure. Got next month. Can't do anything this month. It's full. There you go. Neurodivergent. Thank you for that. Last time I was on an accurate predicted election. Well, it was on the day of. You were on the day of the election, so there was that. And then of course is my link as well. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. So I mean, you multi-stream
Yes.
obviously, and you use StreamYard to do it. So what has been your experience in doing that regard for well, one being a content creator and wanting to sort of do this arena, but multi-streaming to different platforms. What has been your experience in doing that?
Multi streaming is I do basically, just to cover all bases.
Mm,
Granted, a majority of my views come from YouTube.
Mm,
But yeah, I figure, if I really, really, really want to get myself out there, then I got to do it in just, more than one place.
mm,
So I stream on Rumble, I stream on Twitter, I stream on Twitch,
mm,
and I stream on YouTube.
mm,
And that's not, and it's not just from StreamYard. As soon as I get a gaming PC set up, I do already have Streamlabs
mm.
set up to go as well. And I will eventually, in my Scooby Pups Rough Views, you won't be seeing my face, but you will be seeing my VTube avatar.
Oh, so you can have a VTube avatar then?
I have had one for the longest time. I've just never used her.
Hmm. Hmm. Is it like a PNG or is it 3D?
It's kind of like a mixture of both. I use VTube Studio for her.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I've seen a
so
I've seen a lot of people. I've had a few VTubers who use VTube Studio. It's free, so I mean, why
yeah,
not?
it's 2D.
Yeah,
She's a 2D character. She's got little ears and a tail and everything, but I made it so that way you see her up close, so you don't see the tail or her arms and stuff.
right. Well, I know I've known you at least shown your face before, in at least
Yes.
one of your streams, because I stopped at one of your streams.
Yeah. I prefer to not show my face because I'm very, very, very self conscious.
Right, understandable.
But after a while, people just started saying, show your face, show your face. They just kept on demanding that I just turn on my camera. So I was like, oh, people just kept on saying, turn on your damn camera. And even Nerd Wars was like, face cam, face cam, face cam. Every time I talked to him, he kept saying, turn on your face cam.
Mm,
And when I had Leon come on, Leon was like, I'll only come on if you turn on your camera. And I'm like, oh my God, seriously. So
yeah.
since that point on, I just left it on, even though I have the background of my room where I stream, it's beige. So it's very washed out. The lighting is
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah.
So I was telling Jay Viper on stream that I really, really got to find a way to fix it. And he was giving me some tips.
Mm,
So it'll be a while before I actually have a really good stream. I have a link whenever I stream. I have a link posted for my PayPal me.
mm,
For those of you who come to visit, so, donations are always welcome to help support the stream and make things a little bit better.
yeah.
If not, they're not expected,
Mm,
and just the very presence of them being there is
mm,
more than enough for me. The
right.
fact that people are spending their time are taking the time out to even come to the show
Mm,
is more than enough for me. The donations are just to help support it and make things better.
yeah. It's a bonus to what you're doing this
It's a
for.
way of also, I mean, with the donations, it's a better way to like get the better camera, to upgrade the visuals, to get the better mic, to upgrade the sound,
Mm,
to get just overall better graphics to help presentation overall.
mm,
I mean, I really just can't leave it all up to Tony to, I mean, to do Tony to do every single thing. I gotta do as much as I can, but
mm,
I'm not monetized.
yeah.
I'm very limited
Mm,
in funds, so
yeah.
that's why I have the donations up there to say, hey, do you want to support the stream?
Yeah. That's understandable. I mean, as again, you also have access to a lot of different free things out there, but it makes sense for um,
Yeah, my VTube avatar was free.
mm,
I just went on the net, and I know a lot of people go out there and have somebody make the avatar for them.
mm,
Now, granted, I don't know how to use any of those damn programs.
right.
So I just went on to the internet, typed in free avatar, and free VTube avatar,
Mm,
and I found a website that had pre-made avatars that some were for free, some of them actually cost money, but they were all there. and I just downloaded one of the free ones.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. I've had I've had a gentleman on Kaiju, and he uses the he uses the VStube 22. He uses one of the he switches like between the cat avatars, and then the female one.
He likes being a pussy.
Oh well, you know,
I'm
I'm
just
not gonna
kidding.
I'm not gonna go that far, but you're not too far off.
No, but
But
that's what you call a cat, a pussy cat.
oh, Pussycat, yes, right, you do, but it certainly pushing it over the edge for the other one, of course. But yeah, he uses them as well, and I think he has someone make his avatar. So, but yeah, I can understand. You know, when I did this thing, again, I have a full time job and stuff, so I bought like some crappy, not a crappy camera. Sorry, it was considered well, but it didn't have autofocusing. So especially with now, like this one is the one I have now is the Logitech uh, Brio 500, which I still got for a pretty good deal on Amazon. It was like 100 and something on its website, but you go to Amazon and it was like less than $80 to be honest, because they're having a deal on it. So, but I didn't start out with that. I started out with a camera that was an autofocus, and I knew I needed one that had autofocus. And I've sort of gone over. Um, no, look at that. There you go. Thank you, Neuro. Um, but I've sort of gone over stuff. And like I could save up to go for the next one, but it's almost an unnecessity at this point. I think for me, it's just getting things that are um, only necessarily needed, not
Mhm.
extravagant. Because I've seen some people go for like those couple $1,000 microphones and whatnot. I'm just like, if you can afford it, I guess.
Well, and there's also the cameras that you can use for streaming that just have. I'm looking for the type of camera that I'm looking for. It's there's one out there that's attachable, and it has the nice bright LED lighting built onto it. But not
Mhm.
only that, it has a speaker built into it already. So to me, that's like a three-in-one
Yep.
thing. It's got the high res, and then it's got the lighting for me, and then it has the speaker already.
Mhm.
So for me, the simpler it is, the easier it is, and that's fine because then that would only leave the headset for me to get. And Cassie already told me, which headset to get, and I found the perfect one. So it's like really only two items that I would need.
Sorry.
And then for anything special effect wise, well, of course, that I would have to go out to Best Buy for and whatnot and save up for.
1 second. I swear I still have. Nope, nope, that's not it. Hold on. I swear I still had the boxing and stuff. Curses. No, I was trying to look for my. Oh, um, I was trying to look for my. Nope, it's not a Scooby Pup. All right. No, I was trying to look for. I had my old. Um, I'm trying to remember where I put it, but I have one of my old. Uh, my what was it? The C. So I've got to look at the website. Hold on. I'm trying to remember the name so I don't get it wrong. There we go. There we go. Yeah, blah blah. I don't care. Let's see. I don't need a price. Ha ha ha. Where are my? Where are the kit? No, let's microphones, audio products. Good lord, where's the mics? The camps at? Oh, don't tell me I have to. Ah, discover. Nope, 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 nope. 1 second. All right, the Brio 500. There we go. I think there we go. Got it. Okay. So let me get it 1 second. Chair stream. It's not a chair stream. I just was looking for something. All right, there we go. I'm just showing you what camera I have. Nope, don't need that. So this is the camera I have.
Hmm.
Obviously, it's a different color, but the camera I'm looking for that I. Oh no, I don't. No, just give me webcams. There we go. I need to go back. So the cam. Ah, here it is. This is the one I have. This is an old. It still works, to be honest. But if you are looking for a new webcam and are interested in, I don't know, mailing, I can just give you this one, and you can have something that's newer, and it can do, what is it? Right here. C920S delivers remarkable crisp and detailed full HD view, 1080 at 30 frames per second with a HD glass lens. This has a microphone in it. Let's see. Well, no, let me go back. Um, Plus dual mics for clear stereo sound. Everything you need to look great in conference calls and recorded polished demos. I think there's. Oh, is this all the pictures I get? It's all the pictures I get. Curses. Oh, I also have this light right here too. This light Litra glow, which I bought elsewhere. But yeah, this is the other camera I have, and you get a privacy shutter, and that's what it looks like right there. But you let me know if you'd like to have that or not, because at least it
Okay.
would save you some money. It's like $60, but it's I'm not needing it anymore, and I'd rather not have to toss it away. So that's up to you. But yeah, gay stream. No, you're gay. You're gay, Abe. Every question you asked me, you were gay in your own right for asking me that. But no, you let me know, and if you want something like that, because again, has the
I
head.
will give it some thought because when it comes to trying to find out what it is that I like, I normally turn to CNET
Oh, right, understandable.
because
Yeah.
yeah, CNET they usually show which ones are the best ones to get and which
Mm,
ones are the best ones to get under X amount of money, and
mm,
they give you the list of best value and stuff like that. So I usually go to CNET to find certain cameras, pros and cons, and stuff like that. I like to do when it
research.
comes to certain things. I like to do a lot of research, so that way I make sure I'm everything's compatible or that I get my money's worth, and things like that.
Well, it's worked for me, and it's free, so that's what you got working with you. So, but you just let me know if it
Okay,
comes to
we'll
that.
do.
But I gotta find it first. Though I swear I had it somewhere. I put it in a box, and I think it was in its original box, and I didn't throw it away, so I should have it. I still use my C930E. Bought it about a decade ago. Ah, okay. I had never heard of that one, but yeah, I mean, for me, Logitech has been good for me in the price setting and also just the look of it. Because honestly, again, some of those cameras out there, just going on Amazon, they can get a little pricey,
Yeah.
and I'm not interested. Yeah, I can go look at a lot of different cameras they'll give you, but at the end of the day, it's up to you on how
Mhm.
you want to go up. But I figured it out for at least. But yeah, it's I started off with a little like Sam Samson Samson ball mic and or meteor mic as they called it, and then I just kind of grew up from that, and I got I think it's a Blue Yeti. What do they call it? It's a blue. It's a Yeti Classic. Sorry, it's a Yeti Classic microphone. I don't remember how much that one cost me, but again, I bought it off Amazon, so it was probably cheaper than the price of the actual store. So but yeah, I've always, I don't splurge, um, and I'm really not interested in going too far because there's a point of I want to call it service of purpose, right? You get a lot. You keep going up, getting the better. Like some people have the AI camera and all this stuff, and that's fine. You do what you will. But for me, it's like, where's the point of you do get better, like the quality and whatnot. I understand that, but where's the point of contentment, right? Like if you can afford it, sure, but if you can't afford it, what's the point of contentment for someone to like this is what I need, other than updating like the tech stuff, like if the camera goes bad or it gets outdated or whatever.
Yeah.
um, but what's the point? What's the line of contentment? Because it feels like it's always sort of like the same thing with like when people buy or wait for the new iPhone, right? Like they're waiting in lines, they buy the new iPhone, they get rid of the old one. It
Yeah.
it becomes this thing of just well, as the base people would say, just point of consumerism is just you do your research and you find out what works best for you. But at the end of the day, what's the stopping limit? What's the stopping line of like when it's good enough for you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know compatible with Max too, but I learn something new every day, Abe. But the thing of it is, like, I know there are certain things that are, uh, there are certain things that are important to people. Like, if they can't hear you, that's something. If they can't see you, well, that's something. But not everyone has to be seen. Heard, sure, because if they can't hear you, then we do like, and it's like charades all day.
Yeah.
Um, it's not a periodic table, Abe. Come on. Um, but it's just I'm content. I mean, if it comes to the point where that this camera dies, this mic isn't good anymore. This little soft light thing that I have, you can see my glasses right there. If it comes to those things at work, I'll replace them. But I don't need any more than that. Oh, thank you, Lord Three. You know, March is almost ready. Just need some mixing and mastering and it'll be done. Have a good night, everyone. God bless. There you go. Have a good night, Lord of the Ree. I hope you have fun with your music making. And of course, since Lord of the Ree did give a rumble rant, let me hold on for a second. Here we go. So we write down what was it, $2. Okay. And then put Lord of the Ree. Three E's. Up. Alright, there you go. There you go, Lord of the Ree. Yep. And so that's what all those post-it notes are on the back, and some people who don't Rumble rant or whatever. Because I'm monetized on Rumble, but
Yeah, I
YouTube's
don't
a,
even know how to get monetized on Rumble. I mean, I know what to do to get monetized on YouTube, but not Rumble.
you're already monetized.
I'm already monetized.
Yeah, you're monetized on day one. I stopped by your stream on Friday and I left you a Rumble rant.
Oh wow, I didn't get notified.
Well, yeah, it's not on the system part of YouTube, but I mean, if you were to go on your back end for your account overview or whatever, you'll see, like with the amount. And then later, then down, you'll see like the Rumble rant itself. But yeah,
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah. Like, again, you're on Rumble. You're automatically once you start, doing stuff, you're automatically monetized from day one. So that means you are allotted to, get the gifted subs, which is a fun one. If someone gives you a gifted sub, you get all the gifted sub. So like
Yeah,
once,
when you're on StreamYard and you're typing to people in chat as
no,
the
this
person,
this.
yeah, as the person. I don't know why it does this, but
Mm,
for StreamYard, it will show that you're so when you multi-stream,
mhm,
when you type in like hello or whatever message it is into the chat,
mhm,
it'll show you where where it's been seen. And in my case, whenever I chat in there, it'll show Twitter.
mhm,
I mean, it'll show YouTube and Twitch. It
mhm,
won't show Twitter and it won't show Rumble.
mhm.
So I have no idea if anything that I say went through to Rumble chat wise.
Yeah,
Um,
that's where you just have to, like, for me, even if I still have Rumble Studio, I still keep tabs open on my other streams, and because that way I can keep an eye on. But you're obviously using your laptop, so that's not very easily
yeah, so
possible.
I can't look at
Yeah,
more than one
yeah. So,
thing at a
but
time.
it's one of those things. But I mean, it's I just use what I use because I don't have to pay for it. Obviously, but I do know a lot of people use StreamYard or, well, actually, a lot of people started leaving StreamYard once they upped the price for StreamYard.
I used StreamYard because it's really I know Streamlabs. I know how to use it. The reason
Mhm,
I use StreamYard is
mhm,
because Streamlabs does not. It's more complicated, and it also does not allow you to bring people on as guests and whatnot.
mhm,
So it's extremely limiting.
mhm.
So I figured, okay, well then I will just use StreamYard.
Mm-hmm.
because at least that one I'm familiar with. I've heard Hypno talk about and explain things about. So I was kind of like, okay, well, he's made it seem like it's very user friendly. I went over there. It's extremely user friendly for
Mm-hmm.
beginners. It has a free account, business account, and so on. So it has various different ones.
Yeah, and
Uh,
you can record video in it, and
yeah.
uh, yeah,
But if you're using a free account, of course, it's going to be
what?
very limited as
Mm.
towards what you can do, and you're always going to have the little duck
Yeah, the
watermark.
watermark. Yep, yep.
The only way to get rid of that is to pay,
Mm,
get your own account. So I have my own account for it. So it has like the little watermark that says Scooby Pups Podcast.
mm,
And if it's not the watermark that's there, then it's the QR
mm,
code. So that way you can scan that to make a donation for PayPal.
mm,
So yeah, StreamYard is very easy to do if you're going to look to multi-stream and you're a
mm.
beginner.
Yeah. Oh, I know there's Restream that's out there as well. I know that Tomby uses EV Mux, and
Yeah,
that's more the OBS of
and I don't have OBS. I mean, I do, but I don't.
yeah, yeah. OBS is a very resource intensive program.
Yeah, I find OBS to be very annoying, especially
Yeah.
on my laptop.
Yeah, I used to use it. I can understand. I use so this Rumble Studio is Rumble's broadcasting software, and of course there's a watermark, but you can pay to have that away. But whether you take the watermark or not, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Every other bit of it is free to use. It's
for
not
me,
as in this. It's not in the same sense of Streamyard, but it is slowly
yeah,
getting there.
yeah, for me, OBS. I would use like OBS type of camera or whatnot, but
Mm,
the only problem is every time I try to install it,
mm.
it says I have to turn off Discord.
So you have
There's
Discord on as well.
it says that I have to sign out of Discord. Well, here's the
Mm,
thing though, is I will sign out of Discord, I will turn off, I will do anything I possibly can to Discord, and no matter what I tried, it still said shut down Discord. And I was like,
interesting.
well, so I was like, well, if you're going to give me this kind of trouble, screw you. I'm not going to go for the OBS. Now,
Mm,
for the Streamlabs, for some reason, for Streamlabs, it works fine. I don't
mm,
get any trouble.
mm,
So I really don't understand that because I have Streamlabs for when I finally get a gaming PC or a gaming laptop and stuff. I
mm,
was going to use that to do my streams on.
mm,
So that way I could read the chat a lot easier because the thing is with the PS5 and whatnot, you can't have that wonderful display around it. But whereas with Streamlabs you can, and also the PS5. What a lot of people don't know is the PS5 when you're streaming and people are making comments and stuff. Yeah, I can see.
mm,
However, if you're making a long comment, I can only see bits and pieces of it. Like I'll
mm,
see the first part, first couple of words, but if it's like, oh, hey, go this direction and then this direction and this direction, I will only see the, oh, hey, go this.
mm. Yeah, so it's limiting in that factor.
Yes, it's
Um,
it's limiting. It'll cut off what you can see, which
mm,
is why sometimes when I am game streaming and I
mm,
know it's a game that a lot of people like, or I know that a lot of people are going to be coming, I will have my laptop open to the YouTube and watching my own streams. That way, when people chat,
yeah,
I can at least see what's going on over there while I'm gaming at the same time.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes you have to do the workaround. I mean, I still do regardless because you never know, something technical will happen. But yeah, I've used Streamyard. I didn't stream with it. I just used for the recording part, and then I used OBS for multi-streaming. But and then it came to using Rumble Studio for all its faults, which are many, not too many, but many. Um, it's I've used it ever since, and it's not the worst. I know other people say differently, but for what I do, it works well, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to the Scooby Pups Rough Views
Mm-hmm.
video,
Mm-hmm.
since all my gameplay is recorded on the PlayStation 5,
Yeah.
and I'm not very computer literate,
Yeah.
well, there is a good thing about the PS5 is the Share Factory. PS5 has a little editing program on there called Share Factory,
Mm.
and you can make videos or little story things and stuff like that. You can make recordings of various things
Oh, nice.
on there. And so when Stupenzo, and you can transfer things around your computer over to the PS5. So when Stupenzo finally makes up the
Mm-hmm.
finishes the opening video,
Yeah.
I'm going to take that, transfer it over onto my PS5 via USB,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I'm ready to do the review, I will put that in the first half and then just attach everything on. And then once everything's completed and recorded and everything, I just take that, put it on USB, and then load it onto my StreamYard and just pop it in.
There you go. Yeah, that's well, I mean, for what, like 500, $600, it should be worth its weight in gold, to be honest.
I have the let's see, I have the disc version because I thought getting the digital version was a waste of money.
Yeah.
So I got the disc version
Mm-hmm.
because I realized, okay, if you're insistent on getting digital,
Mm-hmm.
but you're also in the right frame of mind and decide to get physical, which you should always do,
Right.
then the disc version is the best one that you can get because you can get your digital games and your disc version, or you can be dumb as hell, buy the
Mm-hmm.
digital version and then go buy the separate attachable disc part.
Oh,
So,
that's probably what it's going to turn into, is sooner
well,
or later.
it already does the separate attachable part to it.
Well, no, no, I'm just saying sooner or later you're not going to be able to buy the disc version, and you'll just be buying an
Yeah,
attachment,
and for a
which.
lot of my games, I know it sounds stupid to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I do it anyways. For a lot of my games, I have both the digital and the physical copy. And I do this for the reason in which if something goes wrong,
Mm-hmm.
I at least have a backup in some other way, shape, or form. Like I was playing The Last of Us one time,
Mm-hmm.
and the game was doing fine the first couple of times that I had played it. And then one day while I was playing it, it started to crash. Every time I tried to play, it would play great to a certain point and then crash. Play great to that same point and then crash. And it happened over and over and over. And I had the disc version, so I figured I'm going to try something. I played it with the disc,
Mm-hmm.
perfectly fine since then.
Nice.
Same thing happened with Uncharted. I used
Mm-hmm.
the disc, perfectly fine since then. Sometimes when the disc doesn't work, the digital will work. So
Mm-hmm.
I use them as one or the other because you never know when something's going to go wrong.
Yeah. Well, if the power goes out, that's not something you can.
I
This
have,
is like.
well, actually, I have, we have a generator. So if anything happens, because we live, where we live,
Mhm.
it's on the hospital grid.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So not only that, is also if I don't have to worry about the PS5 going out because I have an uninterruptible power supply attached to it.
Okay, an APS, yeah.
Yeah, and I also use even though the router is Wi-Fi,
Mhm.
instead of letting it rely on the Wi-Fi, I went out and bought the USB hookups. I mean,
Mm.
not the USB hookups, but you know the
Ethernet?
router hookups. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Ethernet.
Ethernet,
Um,
yeah.
and I took the Ethernet cords and I hooked up my TV and my PlayStation to the router with those.
Nice. Yeah, I used to do Wi-Fi, but when I was playing Fortnite, it would just be horrendous in trying to connect. So once I hooked up to the Ethernet, everything was a good
Yeah, I
go.
had to do the same thing when it comes to streaming. That's another reason I have the Ethernet is because if I try to rely on the Wi-Fi to do my game streams, it won't work. The
Yep.
because you know too many people are going to be trying to borrow off your Wi-Fi, and it's kind of like no, that's not reliable. If I want the
Mhm.
speeds that I need and I want the connection that I need, then I'm going
Mhm.
to have to use an Ethernet.
Yeah, definitely. it's just it's just I've learned too many lessons. I mean, I it was a Ethernet Bluetooth sort of thing, so I keep it for the Bluetooth side. But having Wi-Fi is sort of it's more unreliable than, say, if something happens with the Ethernet. There's other things that can affect that. But Ethernet is a little more stable because I'm directly connected, not just like waves in the air, and you're not sure because it has to travel through wood and
Yeah.
wood, concrete, and all this stuff. And you're just like, yeah, just stick with Ethernet.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that you just kind of, as a streamer, there's a lot of things you just kind of have to wiggle your way around and just kind of like do whatever you can,
Mm-hmm.
even to get like those little hookups to boost the symbol.
Yeah.
Sometimes you even have to do that.
Sort of like trying to play Tetris, but it's getting faster and faster every time. You're like, no, please, Lord, no.
Well, luckily, one of my favorite games is Tetris, and I am good at it.
Oh, that's the best part right there. I remember there was some news a long time ago about like a kid beating like level 99 or something like that. It's like, well,
Yeah, there was a kid who beat the game,
mm,
period, and was then chastised by the reporter who was reporting the story. And
mm,
oh man, did people turn on her real fast because it was a kid.
yeah,
And she said, "That's great that he did that and all, but how about you put down the controller and go outside and play instead, or pick up a book?"
mm,
And it's like way to kill a great story of a kid's success. A little kid, they can only do so much. And this kid, obviously, he has awesome reflexes.
mm,
And a game like Tetris requires on the spot thinking, quick reflexes. I mean, it's a mastermind puzzle there. You got to be really good to do it.
yep,
And this kid, it just goes to show that this kid, he's smart. He's got
mm.
reflexes like lightning. And she just has to say, "Go outside and play."
Way to kill the mood, Buzzkill.
Yeah, and everybody turned on her. It was hilarious. Everybody turned on her and just made shot after shot after shot of her. And she
Yep.
actually had to do an apology.
Jeez. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you go out reaching dumb like that. Goodness sake. Um. Yeah. Some people, man, they even if it was for a little kid, obviously you're just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was dumb. Yeah, I was laughing at that one. But anyway, we are getting close to the close because I do, again, like I said, I do have a full time job and I do try
Yes.
to set up for tomorrow's stream. But anyway, we're gonna do what we did before, but there'll be a few different things. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do our self promotion. Obviously, you already know how that goes. So we'll do that first, and then we'll kind of go from there. So go ahead and do your thing, young lady.
Okay, so like I said before, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern, Scooby Pup's Barkade.
Mhm,
Be sure to catch it out. Be sure to catch it. Currently streaming Scarlet Nexus, the second half of it. If you want to catch the first half of the game, feel free to go to my channel. I have a playlist of all the Scooby Pup Arcade games that I've played so far. It is located right then and there in there, as well as it has its own separate playlist as well. Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, Scooby Pups Podcast.
mhm,
Every weekend, Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern. This weekend, I have Sammy 3P.
mhm,
And this weekend, we are going to be talking comic book movies and
mhm.
comic book TV shows. And we will also be we're going to be doing some conjecture about the new Superman movie that's
Oh.
coming out. So keep an eye out for that. If you go to the channel, watch the videos, I even have some random gameplay up that I've had from years ago. If you're interested, go to the channel, check it out, like, subscribe, follow. Really appreciate it. Comment on anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And again, her links for her stuff are down below on either Rumble or YouTube. So either way, you'll be covered. But for my end of things, yeah,
I'm on YouTube, I'm on Rumble, I'm on Twitter,
Twitch,
and I am on Twitch.
Twitch, yep, yep, and those are all those links are down there in the description below. So if she's you can check her out, and if she's worth the follow, why not give it to her? So, but anyway, for my end of things, because I'm so great at this thing, I don't count myself great at it. But anyway, for my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side, whether on the YouTube side, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated because, again, not only does it help with being seen more, like all content creators want to be, it also helps in having other people on, like the lovely Scooby Pup or the Tomby or so many other people. I've had on over 180 guests so far. So it's been an interesting ride doing this there chat, but it's been amazing as well. So any help with the engagement factor is much appreciated on either end. And of course, I have a link down below as well if you want to check out where else I'm at. I have the Twitter X in there, and I have the email there. Or of course, Discord one, just mostly for DMing. I don't have a Discord server, so there's that. But if you would like to take up the opportunity yourselves to come on, well, guess what? There's a comment section down below on either end, and of course, there's a link down below to find out where I'm at. I've only had one person go through the links to find me to come on the show, and it was a Canadian. So pick it up, Americans. Come on. Um, but anyway, yes, I talk to people who are creators or not creators. I've talked to a variety of people. I've talked to people who don't even show their face. So there's that too. So don't think that you don't have something interesting to say, because there always is something interesting to say, no matter the person. So anyway, any help with the engagement factor, link down below. I appreciate you all for that. And of course, tomorrow at what time tomorrow? Oh, guess what? Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, I get to have on the lovely Sonia again. Or your fave darling.
Yeah.
Yeah, or your fave darling on Twitter X. But yes, I've had Sonia on before, and she was very lovely, and we learned a lot of stuff about her. Like she manages working at a movie theater and whatnot, and all the glorious stuff that comes with it. So she'll be coming on tomorrow again at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I hope you all join me for that because she is lovely, and she supports a lot of people and all that stuff. So come by 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, and we'll have a great time then. So, and of course, for the next part of the ordeal, I do this thing with my guests. It's the last thing I do. It's called Questions from a Hat. So I have a hat, bought a hat from Mumble, put some questions in it. And so what happens is that, okay, so here are the rules, kids. First off, my guest, you, get 2 freebie questions, and that's it. But if people, that's right, you people in the chat, right? If you people in the chat want to have more questions pulled out of the hat, guess what? You've got to give a Rumble rant for that. I'm not monetized on YouTube, too far from that. And so there's that. But I am monetized on Rumble. So if you do want more questions out of the hat, uh, just give a Rumble rant. And then that's it. I know a certain age should be on there. So you know what, Abe? You keep that up, you're going to find yourself somewhere else, all right? If you want to come on, just say so, all right? April's open. Goodness, why does it have to be me asking you every stinking time, all right? But anyway, but yes, of course, Lord of the Ree did a rant earlier. So that gives you 3, because 3 is the magic number. But if anyone else wants more than that pulled out of the hat, you gotta get a Rumble rant. I don't care the amount, 1 or 500, doesn't matter the amount. What matters is you have to give another Rumble rant for it. So we're going in for the first question. Are you ready? Uh, that was a question to you. Are you ready, Scooby?
Yes.
All right. Here's the first question. Ta-da! All right. First question. Let's see what this says. Ooh, it's a bit scary. Oh, this is easy. Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Tea. Hands down. When I was a kid, I loved coffee. I don't know if it was a thing in my mom's side of the family because my mom's from Spain.
Oh.
And when you're in Spain,
Mm.
or Europe overall, children usually drink coffee children usually drink coffee a lot.
Mm,
And I did as a kid. I drank a lot of coffee.
mm,
But then my dad made her stop serving it to me because he said it stunts your growth. So I got scared and stopped
yeah,
drinking it. I haven't drunk it since.
mm.
So I'm not a big fan of it anymore. I used to like the flavor. Now I really don't. So I drink unsweetened black iced tea or green tea or jasmine tea.
Ah, that's not bad. I've never drank coffee before. I'm more of a hot chocolate kind of person.
I
So
love
there's
hot chocolate.
mm,
When it comes
dark
to drinking tea, I don't like having any type of sweetener or sugar in it or anything unless it's hot tea.
hot tea. Well, I've tried tea and it all tastes the same pretty much. So there's that. Although I did stop at a Teavana once, and they had good flavored teas, but that's neither here nor there. I'm more of a hot chocolate person, to be honest. Um, but I also drink I drink a soda called I'll just get it show you. I drink a prebiotic soda called Poppy, and it's a lot better than the pop that's out there. It's got all the health it's got organic apple cider vinegar in it and fruit, different type of concentrate fruit juices, and it's like what's this one? This one's the strawberry lemonade, so it has maybe uh, 8 or 9 grams of sugar in it. So it's not that sweet, but I enjoy it because it's a bit expensive, but it's a lot more healthier. But anyway, question number 2: what's your go-to comfort food?
My go-to comfort food. Oh
Yeah.
God, that's a hard one.
Ooh, we stumped her now. We stumped her now, people.
Um, Comfort food. Jesus.
Well, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
What isn't the first thing that comes to mind? I,
Okay, I'm trying.
Normally, it's like if I'm hungry, I will go out of my room and grab like the first snack that I see.
Mhm,
Uh, Normally, it's a toss up between um, chips or those like little handy snacks
yeah,
with the crackers and cheese. As far as regular comfort food goes, like
yeah.
uh, hot dogs or burgers.
Burger. Well, burgers. Both are just Americana as best as you can.
Yeah, either
So,
either one of those are I like.
mhm, those are the best. Um, question number 3, and this is the last one, unless someone gives another rant. What does it say? Ooh, What's what's a random act of kindness from a stranger that you still remember
That's been done to me or that I do to them.
to you?
Nobody has ever done anything friendly to me.
Really?
Yeah,
No,
nobody.
no.
I've done friendly things.
Mm,
But yeah, no, nobody's ever done anything that's a random act of kindness for me. Um, the most that I usually do for other people, though, is if I run across somebody who's in the military, I shake their hand
mm,
and thank them.
mm,
Um, and there have been a couple of times where I was in Asian populated areas in Maryland, such as Ellicott City. There's a lot of Asian people, and they have like their own little Japanese part. I used to go to karaoke with some of my friends, and we were all Japanese majors. And I was in a market one time, and this guy was having problems. It was this old man. He was having problems with his groceries, and I helped him out.
mm. Nice. That's pretty awesome. That's your random act of kindness is there. But and I speak a little Japanese too, but don't ask me to have a full conversation. It's not going to go well. Um, but no, I mean, would you say that any help that you've gotten for doing your show, whatever, would that not be a form of random kindness?
Yes. So I guess so. In that case, I would give most of the credit to stack of iron for stepping in and being there for me when I needed him most.
Yep. See, I kind of, it's in the way I don't. If I were to be asked myself that, which I don't know, I wouldn't know off the top of my head because you tend not to. I tend not to remember. Well, no, there was one time, so I'll give one for me. So I was going to a Burger King, and it was, I can't remember. It was like towards the weekend, so it wasn't really a big deal. But it was getting late at night, like 11 or so. And I went to the drive-through, and had my debit card, given it to him, and all of a sudden my debit card wasn't working. It had the money in it, obviously, so something was wrong. Maybe like a fraud alert or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Usually don't find those out till the day, tomorrow. And
Yeah.
so, I was like, well, all right, that's fine. We tried it a few times, it wasn't working. It's like, okay, well, just keep it, whatever. He's like, no, no, take it. And so, there was there was one where I was like, oh, okay, all right. So whatever the order, whatever I had ordered, he had the gentleman had given it to me. So it's like, that's pretty awesome. I didn't have to, but he did. And so I kind of, that's one of the things that kind of spring up, is that it's a food item, sure, right? I didn't have to go to Burger King, um, but yeah, yeah, it's pretty awesome. So, but anyway, that is my remember. Oh, yep, just uh, refresh your page, and then you can turn your mic back on. Oh,
Uh, I,
yep,
I
we're good.
did. Can you
Yep,
hear me?
yep, I can hear you just fine. Uh,
Okay.
so, but yeah, that was my random act of kindness. Is a gentleman giving my meal.
Oh,
This,
that's good. Yeah, for Stark of Iron, yeah, I went to him and asked for help.
mm,
Um, but the fact that he agreed, to me that was nice enough.
yeah, and yeah, and that's pretty cool. You have some people like that, especially for come on your show and whatnot and all that stuff. I think that's a lot of different pieces right there. But anyway, that is the end of the show. Sort of. So what
Oh, and
happens?
one other one,
Sure.
Stupenzo.
Depends. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you mentioned him.
Yes.
What?
Uh, I mentioned that I wanted to do a show, but I needed, um, to do an opening and stuff. I didn't know how and asked him if he needed any help. I mean, if he knew any help that he could give me since he does his own stuff. And he goes, I'll do it for you.
Mm-hmm,
I was like, really? And he goes, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll do it for you.
mm-hmm,
I was like, I don't need to pay you. And he goes, no, don't worry about it. And then when I approached him about rough views, I offered to pay him again. He said, nope, no payment. I'll do it for you.
mm-hmm.
Free of charge.
Yeah. See, look at that. Not so hard to think about anymore.
Yeah.
Uh, but anyway, that is the end of the show. Sort of. So what happens is I am part of the creator program on Rumble, and of course we get a special option of doing premium content. Of course, there's a requirement stuff. I've already filled that, but I do that sort of like an end show, because at the end, after the show, the show regular show I do ends, I go off and I do like a little. Like a special thing for like 30 45 minutes. People can see how I set up for the next stream, maybe chat a little bit about whatever. So you're welcome to join it if you wish, but if not, I will thank all the people in chat, whether on the Rumble side, whether on the YouTube side, for coming on. I appreciate you all. And again, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, Sonia is coming on, lovely as she is. And we'll get to see her again. And of course, thank you to you, Scooby Pup, for coming on. It
No
has been
problem.
a wondrous time. And of course, you're always welcome to come back. It's never just a one time ordeal. I'm not like those silly people. But you're always welcome to come back. And of course, you're welcome to stay for the special time or for the wrap up time if you want. If not, that's fine. But
As much as I would love to stay for the wrap up
you
time,
got to go.
well, I have modding,
Oh, that's well, there you go. That's a job in itself right there.
especially for Hypno.
Oh, yeah, there you go. But anyway, uh, thank you all once again. 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And of course, as always, I end the stream with hold on, I gotta find it first. With One Day with You buy Pogo, have a great rest of your night, and if you're Rumble Premium, stay for a little bit later. But if not, have a great rest of your night. Talk to you, everyone. Bye.